It's 0700 hours, Thursday, the 5th of September, 2024. Good morning and welcome to Wake Up Nigeria, numero uno breakfast show. And what is this all about? It's Artsy Thursday, and you know how we do it on Thursday. We get to bring out the colors, the shades, and all the beauty that you can find on the African continent, of course, on the Nigerian plane. It's going to be a wonderful show that we have in store for you. All you need to do is just chill, sit back, relax, and we will take you on a roller coaster ride. My name is Mike Messikeno, and like I said, you're welcome to the show this morning. If you need to watch online, our website will be a one-stop shop, tvcentertainment.tv/live stream. That's where you can catch it. You can also catch via our app. It's available on the Google Play Store and the Apple iOS Store. YouTube will be somewhere where you can also catch us, TVC Entertainment. That's the handle on social media. It's about the same thing except for Instagram, where there's a Wake Up Nigeria on TVCE_. That's to talk to us directly using the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC for engagement and interaction. DTT will be GOTV channel 16. That will be probably where you're watching us. It'll be StarTimes 121, and of course, if it's the terrestrial band, that will be the ultra high frequency 49. Well, it's going to be a whole lot getting set for a wonderful show this morning. So let me take you through what we have cooked up for this morning on the show. And we have a tech this morning. It will be quite an interesting chat we're taking a look at kids and what tech skills your kids will benefit from the most. Bettina will be our facilitator this morning. It is going to be an interesting one, so just chill and relax, and when it's time, get to listen to this one. And the book for this morning is something for your financial literacy. It is The Fast Track to Wealth. And Ola Ron is the author of this one. We'll be talking to him and find out what that fast track. Is there really a fast track to wealth? Can you make wealth fast? Is it fast food? Oh, we'll find all of that fast. Benjamin Oduwole would also be here for the art display, and we'll be taking a look at some of his art pieces and his career so far.
Okay, so I'm dressed over and best out today because it's my dad's birthday.
Oh!
Yes, my dad turned 70 today.
Oh, that's big.
I am super thankful to God because a lot has happened. A lot has happened. Yeah.
Is landmark.
Yes, it is.
70 is landmark, and to anybody, anywhere, it is worth celebration. And
Absolutely.
Bring out the drums. We are going to celebrate. Hope there's asun and some wine.
My dad is a vegetarian, so we'll be eating plenty of vegetables today. The look on your face is
What's that?
He's been
When
a
did he start being
vegetarian since
vegetarian?
he was 9. By choice, 9 years old.
9? How did he know that he needed to?
So his dad turned vegetarian, and then he decided to... No,
he could not have made it by 9.
He actually said it was his choice.
By 9.
Trust me.
What were you when you were 9?
When I was 9.
Yeah, what were you doing?
What was I doing? I was trying to get through GSS 2. I was just trying to stay alive.
Chase him. Happy birthday, Daddy. But it's not the same thing I say now. When kids come up and say, have you not heard that thing that kids come up and say, what they want to identify as?
What?
At what age? So this was your dad. That's what he did.
My dad wanted to identify as a vegetarian. That's a good one. That's what
the kids these days are doing. No, it's okay but then something I know about a vegetarian lifestyle is that it has its own benefits.
A lot, actually.
You know, But
my dad
at the
has
same
almost
time,
no health challenges at his age. Like, he has very minimal, just one or two stuff, not too much.
You know the thing with, as men don't, as the age of men dawn, you know, going from the stage where we get to be the Homo sapiens that we are today before, or the stage before that, the Homo erectus and all the homos before that, man, or would you say, innately is a hunter, a gatherer.
Yeah.
So meat was a very major part, but the problem was that he was always mobile, was nomadic. And that's the problem with us, we're sedentary this kind of time. So when you are, if you're vegetarian, you don't have to even move because, you know, it's easier. But if you're going to be carnivores, then you have to be nomadic.
A lot of exercise,
you need to move. And they were hunters, they were gatherers. They were not they never sat down, maybe only to sleep. Once they're up in the morning, when you're nomadic, you're steadily on the move. Yeah. And so, so that's how lifestyles have changed and all of that, all through the years and all that.
So I've been wanting to be a vegetarian since I was 7. And it has never happened.
You like food like this, Is it vegetarian?
These days there are options to meat, so maybe I'll
eat meat. Meat is good.
When I'm
but
40
then
or 60.
it's all about celebrating Daddy at 70 and wishing him the best.
Happy birthday to you, Daddy. We love you so much. The Bashoalimi clan always at your back. The one man who is never intimidated by his wife. God bless you.
Yeah. Wow. It's not intimidated by his wife.
It's not, now. Why do you think my name is Bashoalimi?
The wife needs to do more work.
Why do you think my name is Bashoalimi?
I'm just kidding. Let's take a look at what the weather is like at the news.
Time for the news update on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mary Bashoalimi. Residents of the FCT and some other parts of the country are worried about the increase in the price of petrol and the unavailability of the product. In the nation's capital, petrol price ranges from 880 naira per litre to 940 naira per litre in various stations. Helen Osamede reports.
Days after the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited cried out that the burden of petrol price has pushed it into over $6 billion debt, it increased pump price at all petrol retail outlets from 670 naira to 897 naira per litre. The compliance to this price regime has been swift. Some fuel stations in the city centre now sell between 918 and 940 naira in spite of the scarcity of the products. Here at this petrol station, long queues have spilled into the major roads. Everyone is waiting for their turn to purchase PMS. Motorists outrightly condemn the sudden increase in the pump price of petrol, but it is even made worse by the manpower wasted in queues waiting to get products.
I'm now going to buy for 60,000 to convey me to Jos. I'm a transporter. How much I will carry passenger? And not even the fuel tank, it's just to manage. Of which, since I've been driving for more than 30 something years, I never buy a fuel of 60,000. 60,000 is not for poor one. The passenger is angry. The driver is angry. If you have any issue for vehicle, you are nobody. It's too much.
I've spent like 3 hours here now. My car is still there at the back. This one is 918. It's 918 naira. Yeah.
The hike in the pump price coincides with the announcement the Dangote refinery have started refining petrol and ready to distribute products across the country. They urge the federal government to review the price downward, put measures in place to help Nigerians cushion the effects of the present economic situation. Helen Osamede Kings, TVC News, Abuja.
Outside Nigeria, a 14-year-old student has been arrested in connection with a high school shooting which led to the death of 2 students and 2 teachers. 9 people were injured and are currently being treated at local hospitals. The director of Georgia's police force said the suspect had surrendered to police at Apalachi High School in Winda. He also mentioned that the suspect would be charged with murder and tried as an adult. In a statement, President Biden called on Republicans to work with Democrats to pass what he called common sense gun safety legislation. Vice President Kamala Harris has also asked Americans to bring an end to the epidemic of gun violence.
I thought that I had a family here. But as I am now, I'm just thinking. Because they say the family you are born with, you cannot choose. But The family you choose. You can know that's your family. But now you choose or employment put you in one family. And you say, Aluta continue. Let's do this. Let's come together.
Continue.
But now they say, Benny, if you go that front, you're on your own.
Yeah,
You're on your own.
We'll be behind you, don't worry. Go ahead.
How was it getting here this morning? How did you not the traffic, the queues and all of that. How was
Cost
it?
of transportation, uncle.
Yeah.
I thought it was a new road.
She took.
I thought it was a new road design. There was literally cars at the side of both sides of the road.
Of the road.
All the way to the
All the
office.
way.
Yeah, I thought it was. I mean,
You know, just
Yeah.
yesterday, somebody wanted to go somewhere. I was with her, and she was like, "Okay, well, I want to go there." I just opened. Okay, let me just check out my way there. When we saw the boat price,
You changed your mind.
she jumped bus. The way she jumped the bus, she was even shouting. So you Yaba Ojoleba, but you shout that see, Yaba because this bus now they now scope you. They say Yaba Ojoleba, and when you enter, Yaba is supposed to be a detour. You go into Yaba, and then Ojoleba is forward. They will not get to the middle of the road and say, no, that is all. They are not going inside Yaba. That are going to Ojoleba.
yeah, they always do that. That always.
So she came down and she was just that's what the commuters face, and then it was 1-3.
Yeah.
Yes, 1-3.
Yeah.
And that was Beggar. I think it was Beggar. Yeah, Beggar to Yaba also.
1-3K
Beggar
or
Biogba.
13,000.
No, 1-3. No.
Boss.
Okay, boss.
Boss.
Okay, I thought you meant
Boss.
both.
And so incidentally, just before she got this, but I was going through Instagram and I saw something about. See, the streets are more dangerous now.
Yes.
Than some few years back. So when I still take bus, I still jump with cable. When I used to do it very often, like as a normal way of living, it was not as unsafe as it is now.
What is unsafe about it?
So this girl said there's this scam that they do. Now, her phone was stolen, right? But the way it was, she said something like, they told her to put on the seatbelt and use your two hands. And she had to drop her bag that had her phone. The bus driver and the conductor were in on it. You know,
Where did she drop the bag?
It was by the side. And in that little moment of dropping the bag and trying to, the seatbelt was...
You should have put it between her thighs.
You know, there's always that thing that you're just chilling and all that.
But then again, when they start telling you to wear seatbelts,
like 3-4 people, they said this thing where conductor...
Oh, you put it like this,
conductor
then
and the driver, they come in sync and all of that.
Of course.
Everybody's trying to look for a way. Now, people, you remember when we were talking about the quality of food? Things are now on the high. People are looking for a way to make more money. And so for them to do that, they are doing things that maybe
dangerous preservatives.
their mind for no carry them down before. But you know, hunger can drive you to do anything.
So interestingly, over the weekend now, right? Okay, first let me comment on the question you asked. Getting here this morning, it was quite a journey. As I said, as I came out, I noticed cars literally trailing the whole road. Of course, queuing for fuel and all of that. And then 2 days ago, the rate at which I come to the office has literally increased by about
40% or 50%?
About 200%.
Well, yeah.
So normally getting to the office is about 3,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3K, 3,500.
Nice.
As at today,
Thank you.
so as at two days ago, it was 4 something. Yesterday, it was 6 something. Today, it was 9 something.
Tomorrow
so
it
what
will
is
be 12
interesting is
something.
the speed at which
It's
They're
moving
increasing
on.
it,
increasing.
yes.
Do you get? And interestingly, going back usually costs twice that amount to get from the office back to the house. So I'm just like, okay, like what's going on? So now speaking about how people are literally trying to make ends meet now and the things that we are actually susceptible to, over the weekend, we're literally seeing the story of TJ Omori.
Oh, yes.
And how, I mean, he did a failed kidney transplant and all of that, and how he spoke about how bad drinks literally cost him to be in the office for most of the year, right? So I went out this weekend. I mean, it was a Miss Universe competition. So the weekend, myself and the girls just hung out and all of that.
Yeah, I had people shouting on the screen. I had Ripley's voice directly.
And then
Even though I didn't watch it, though, but I heard it.
and then we literally had the opportunity of sitting down with some club owners just to talk about literally what's going on and because we're trying to even think of how, bring more traffic and everything. And the guys specifically talk about how now it's actually really crazy, talking about how we should all be really careful, especially when we go out, because now he knows it because he's in on
the business.
The business and everything. That these guys literally, like the drinks in the club, a lot of guys literally buy fake drinks just to literally create that margin of making profits. So now there's the option of buying real, but you know that if you buy the real drinks, they are more expensive. So now they literally stock up the clubs with the fake drinks. However, they still sell it at those exorbitant prices. And all of that. So they make a crazy...
So the thing is that before now...
Please, if you're out there with everything,
now,
please be careful.
They didn't used to know that these were fake, but from what you're saying now, they
know. It's a thing that they do. But he was like, he can't even bring himself to do that. Do you understand? But he has to literally still maintain the standard of what's happening. And this guy is not even a Nigerian. Do you understand? So I'm just imagining like the things that are literally happening at other places.
You know, before now, what used to apply was the club owner buys quality drinks and then the staff.
Yes, swap it or something.
With, fake drinks just so they can make extra cash. But for you to say now, it's actually a trend. Even the club owners are in on it.
Yes, their suppliers, they literally tell them
and
because
then,
they also try to say
I will still always come back to Price Regulatory Commission. I will never stop mentioning that fact. On the one hand, we have the, what shall I call it? We have the NAFDAC to worry about these things. Sometimes they close some of these dens where these things take place. But how many of them can they close? If you do not tell them about the location of these places, they will never know where it's happening. We also need to be responsible. It's called community responsibility. Social responsibility. Social responsibility by a community. You know where things are being done. You are saying you don't want to cost them their source of livelihood. Meanwhile, they will cost you your kidney and other body parts because if you think they don't sell it locally, you are wrong. There are people within your community buying from them, knowing fully well that it's bad, and they are selling it to you, and you are thinking you're getting quality. Bottle covers are easy to get. All they have to do is just swap cover using a good-looking bottle of your favorite soft drink. And
bottle is even a far, I mean, it's even far. How many people, these days, people say in their house, they don't even want to go out again because of the way everything is. How even food, like roadside sellers, people that sell actual food. We've literally spoken to, like, done a number of interviews where you are literally hearing how they literally also try to supplement things just so that they have more quantity. Sometimes you're buying certain things and you're wondering, this thing is looking weird. But they say, oh, no, it's just this one. And recently, I actually bought a bottle of palm oil. When I opened it, the smell that came out of that bottle, I'm like, God forbid bad thing. So and you would really not know. Do you understand?
This thing you said,
it's crazy.
It just reminded me of something. So last week, I had access to fresh beans. That was my first time of seeing fresh beans. Babe, the smell of fresh beans is nothing like the things we buy in the market. Fresh beans has this delicious smell. Like you smell it, you feel like you're tasting beans. What we are calling fresh beans is just like this GOTV petrol that they said we've been buying nonsense. If you taste fresh beans, babe,
the petrol is fresh blue. It looks blue.
Hey.
So
it has a
depends on some people at different points. It depends on sometimes lead, sometimes ethanol, different mixtures of things.
Yes, put inside
gives
it.
It color. That's the problem with petrol. But you see,
of course. Then again,
I think what we are saying as a whole is that as much as we know, we are all going through this. Let's try and not make it harder for ourselves. That's just it. I was going to buy fuel.
But it's sad.
Even when it was high, the guy wanted to charge me extra, and I thought...
But that's the thing. As sad as it is, right? As much as we're saying this, yes, of course, if you can, please make it easier for other people. But there are people that will still just think about what they want to eat. They're just thinking about themselves and their survival. They don't care about what happens to other people around them.
Transporters, maybe we'll not take them easy. Especially the way you guys inflate prices. Take it easy. You're not the only ones having problems. Because what you people do causes a lot of ripple effects.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Okay.
Joe.
Yes. All right. We'll be back after this timeout.
Welcome to the kitchen this morning on Wake Up Nigeria. Let's cook up a storm, shall we? Chef G-Boy is here to do just that. Okay, so this morning... Wait first. Mike, what are you doing here?
Chef G-Boy. My show guy. Benga G-Boy.
Catering service.
Catering service.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about G-Boy.
Oh, that's my complaint name.
Don't mind me. Mary, continue.
You see this guy? You see this guy? What are we having for breakfast, Chef G-Boy?
I'm having small chops today.
Oh, we're making small chops.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the ingredients. What are we making use of? Let's start from that.
When I have my flour and I have my sugar.
Okay, flour, sugar.
Yeah,
How much flour is this? How many cups?
This is 7.5 kg.
7.5 kg worth of flour.
Yeah.
Okay. Then sugar. How many cups?
2.5 kg.
2.5 kg. So we're using kg measurement.
That sugar, when you want to use a feed you of KK2 or something.
You'll be all right. Maybe you don't to have breakfast. Let's talk about this. This is yeast?
Yes,
Okay.
this milk flavor,
Okay.
this baking powder.
Baking powder.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about this?
Curry.
Seasoning cubes, salt.
Yeah,
okay.
salt, curry, ginger and garlic,
Curry, ginger, garlic. Okay.
pepper, curry,
This is curry.
yeah.
So this is curry leaves,
Yeah.
dried curry leaves and curry powder.
Yeah,
Okay, then of course.
we have beef. This beef, I have to chop my beef.
Okay, okay.
And
So
this,
you boiled the beef.
I have
already?
to boil it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, you boil it here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then of course.
This hot dog.
hot dogs. Okay.
This is onions. I have to chop in my onions. And this pepper, fresh pepper.
Fresh pepper. Oh,
Yeah.
is it just Scotch bonnet as in atarodo or
Atarodo,
just
yes.
that?
Yeah,
Hey, our mouth today. Carrots, okay.
Yeah, we have a carrot, we have
Okay.
a banana,
Okay.
we have a spring onions,
Okay,
and this
and
cabbage.
Cabbage.
Yeah,
Okay, and
this
then
is
of course,
granite.
this bananas
Yeah,
for musa.
I have to
Okay.
blend it.
These are very ripe.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Oh,
now let's talk about, and then of course vegetable oil. Let's talk about the process. How are you going to put this together? How do we go about making the
First thing,
small chops? Okay.
first thing I have to make my pop-off. Because of time, you have to rise. I have to boil up my water.
Okay.
I have to boil my water.
Okay.
So you have to, within 30 minutes, you have to rise.
Okay. Before you can fry.
Before I can fry.
So what's the process of making the puff puff?
That is the process of making the pop-off.
Okay.
The process of making the musa, I have to blend my banana.
Okay.
After blending the banana, I have to mix it with flour, with
Okay.
sugar,
Okay.
with pepper.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
I have
kind
to
of
mix
pepper?
fresh pepper.
fresh
Fresh
pepper.
pepper. I have to mix it together. Put my yeast. I have to put my yeast, put my sugar, put a little salt.
Wait,
Okay.
is it that small chops that is small that is all this?
Yes,
spaghetti
it is
preparation?
called small, but the ingredients are always
Yeah.
plenty.
Yeah.
And it's basically a staple. Events, I mean, Dad is celebrating today. Maybe that's why Mary is very, very interested in this. If there's no small chops today, forget that Dad is a vegetarian. We'll give me all
My
the spring
dad actually
onions.
likes puff puff.
Let him eat
and
spring onions.
donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he eats
That's,
puff puff.
he's not a vegetarian again.
Why is he not a vegetarian?
Vegetarian know the chop puff.
Oti.
Which vegetarian do you
Is
know
there meat in the puff
that they
puff?
eat puff? Which vegetarian they chop puff? Which
Well,
vegetarian?
let's take a break.
Chop puff.
We'll be back. You're watching Wake Up Nigeria. The kitchen segment will continue in a bit.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for staying with us. You're still watching Wake Up Nigeria. And it's a beautiful, beautiful Thursday morning out here. Mike, why are you laughing? Can you
I didn't know. I thought you were an independent, strong woman. I didn't know that you can't do without me. I
can't do without you. I feel important.
I just thought,
I'm feeling everybody shouting,
strong,
Mike,
beauty
you're
queen,
important.
independent. You'd have shown independence
I
now.
don't blame you. I don't
Yeah,
blame
but-
you at all. Anyways, it's time for us to take a look at what's happening on the covers of the dailies. See, for the major headlines, we're starting with the Punch. We have petrol scarcity, NNPCL bars independent marketers amid surging prices. We have that on page 2. 3 PMS vessels arrive, transport fares jump as major marketers raise fuel price. All right, at the top left there, we have neck fears poor harvest as flooding kills 205. We have that on page 2. On the right, we have Nigeria's economy has stagnated. That is from Bill Gates, right? Who was actually around. Yeah, so he actually is in the country, and that's on page 29. Shatima inaugurates $115 million West Africa container terminal upgrade in Rivers. We have that on page 19. To the side of the image there, we have state police neck to brainstorm on 32 states reports. We have that on page 28. PDP shifts NWC meeting over Governor's Wike's tension. We have that on page 29. Below the paper there, to the left, we have Abure rejects OT's 29-man peace panel. We have that on page 28. To the right of that, we have Nigeria police will torture, kill me if I surrender. We have that from Wanted Britain. It's been on the chase for a while, on the run rather for a while. We have that on page 10. To the right, we have arms importation. Federal government declares emergency in on ports. We have that on page 19. Now back to the top of the paper there. This situation of Bill Gates. I mean, he's in the country. He was at one of the NEC meetings. That was, I think, yesterday. I saw it on the news, and it was interesting because I mean, he was talking about how the debts, Nigerian debts, has literally reached 50% of our GDP, and that doesn't seem to necessarily be getting better because I mean the borrowing just keeps on going on and on and on. And I think it's actually quite funny. Well, I say funny or quite interesting, and just I mean, if I was thinking, I had a conversation with someone yesterday talking about how if an individual could literally set up a refinery, right, of that magnitude in Nigeria, in Lagos, why can that not be done on a national level? We talk about how, I mean, we're always borrowing money because we always need money, but we right here have the resources and everything we need, the manpower, the resources, and of course, thanks to technology and all of that, we can literally get whatever else we need to literally set up a proper money maker, money spinner right here. But it usually takes a private individual to literally do that. I think it's quite...
If we were even to talk about this one and even talk about it on a subcutaneous level, it will take a lot of time.
Yeah.
Because incidentally, when he came, he also mentioned something about tax. And at the same time, we're talking about increasing our VAT, our value-added tax, from 7.5 to 10%.
Yes.
It's not like it's the biggest in the world. I mean, there are some countries that will pay even as high as 40, 50% for tax. But you see, what is the money being used? When I'm taxed, what is it being used for? If I'm taxed and people are taxed this highly and then they have maybe tuition or something free to a particular level, borrowing is not the problem. America borrows the most. The most. But what are you using this money for? When people borrow and somehow it finds a way into the personal coffers of some people, that's evil, that's wicked, and that is that's a kind of there's a plethora of people like that in this, and it's almost everywhere. We are talking about how it is deeply entrenched in our society and how wicked we are, how evil we are.
To ourselves. So I mean, we have to move to the next paper now. For the nations, there we have queues persist. Commuters stuck despite petrol price hike. NLC presidential aide disagree over claim. MANLCCI list effects. MBATUC kick. At the top of the paper there to the left, we have Abure clashes with OT, will be over setting up of interim exco. To the right of that, we have NEC gives FCT Kwara 3 others Monday deadline on state police. To the right of that, we have Chinese firm to build Lekki Ekpe Link Bridge. Sanwo-Olu signs pact. At the strip there below, beside the image there, we have federal government kicks off consumer credit with 500,000 beneficiaries. To the strip, we have Lagos extends work from home policy, police school squad for Abuja. We have that on page 3. So which of this actually catches your attention? I think this inter-party politics thing is actually becoming unbecoming. Actually, this Abure Obi clash situation.
It's just look, a healthy democracy would always have a healthy opposition.
Yes.
The best democracies are.
But when the opposition, the party, they are fighting against themselves.
So that's why a number of people are looking at. There's nothing wrong with opposition. I mean, it's part. We would have different beliefs and all of that now. But that's a complaint a lot of people have about Nigerian democracy at this point in time. The opposition is really very wicked. It's almost not there. And that's because of inter-party issues.
Yes, inter-party issues.
You know how it is with the PDP, you know how it is with the LP and all that. So, but then it's for me, it's an indictment on all of us as people, because that's who we are as a person. Whoever is in charge, there's when the funny slangs to go out, it's us as a people. It's who we are as a people, because a lot of these people are cross-carpeting, like, what are the ideals? we? What do these people stand for? What do these ones stand for?
Yeah.
So really, I don't know whether party politics is really what we're doing here, or people
politics. Literally, it's literally who stays at the top. As in the case of like the LP right now, because that's the issue you're literally having with Abure. But anyways, we don't have much time to take more of the headline because Mike was busy in the kitchen doing what I don't know. But anyways, we have to go on a quick break right
Independent
now.
woman.
Still so much more.
No, it's not independent again.
On Wake Up Nigeria. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the kitchen again. We're still preparing breakfast for you. G-Boy is hard at work. You can see the puff in motion. Hey, I see pepper. I see. Tell us what you've put inside here. What have we done so far?
One, my flour.
Okay.
After putting my flour, my sugar,
Okay.
my yeast,
Okay.
and my salt.
Okay. And then you put a bit of pepper as well. Yes, that's
my milk flavor and my yeast.
Okay. Milk flavor and yeast.
a little pepper.
Okay. 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 All right. So the puff is coming along nicely. So we have to do this first because it has to rise. That is the batter has to rise.
Yes.
So what he's doing is he's using hot water to speed in the process. Yeah. So because it's we're having to use the yeast to buy time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. So that's how you do your puff with all the pepper. So we are going to leave it to rise for 30 minutes, right? Yeah. So at the end of 30 minutes, because of the hot water that has been used, it's to speed up the rising process, okay? So if you did not plan ahead and you are in a hurry to make puff, that's a hack that could prove useful. So at the end of the day, let me just show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. In 30 minutes time, it's going to be a lot more than this, and then we'll start frying.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah, so this is it. All right, so we're moving to the next. Now, what are you doing?
This is samosa.
You can tell somebody that usually handles several orders at once. Move, move. Okay, so what are you doing this time?
This is samosa.
That's the banana.
The banana, yeah. After putting the banana,
so,
I have to mash the banana.
It, yes.
Yeah. After mashing the banana, I put my flour, I put my sugar.
How much flour? About a cup?
Yeah.
Okay.
250 kg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 250 kg. I have to put my pepper, my milk flavor, my yeast. Okay. So little salt, and I mix it together with hot water. Little hot water, not much.
Okay. All right. So that's how we are putting this together. Yeah. So the ingredients are currently on your screen, by the way, for the small chops. So we're making use of flour, sugar, yeast, baking powder, cabbage, spring onions, carrots, beef, salt, vegetable oil, curry and thyme, ginger and garlic, seasoning, chicken, pepper and blended pepper, onions, hot dog, milk flavor. Yeah. Yes. And talking about the chicken, we didn't mention the chicken earlier. So this is the chicken. What did you do to the chicken? You flaked it.
Yeah.
How did you do that? You boiled it?
Yeah, I boiled it. I fried it. I have to chop it.
Okay, so you boil, you fry, then you chop. So this is going to be used for which one? The samosa. Are you making samosa?
Yeah, I'm making spingo and samosa.
Samosa.
So I'm going to use the chicken for the spingo.
Okay.
For another taste, but the beef is for the samosa.
Okay, so the beef is for the samosa, the chicken is for the spring roll.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, looks like we're in celebration mode here, celebrating my dad at 70. Love you so much, Daddy. And I know you're not watching right now. Okay, so let's get on with our preparation here while we join Winfrey on the couch.
Artsy Thursday, and on Thursday we definitely like to bring you arts discussions. And today I have with me Benjamin Adewale Oduoli. He is a painter and a visual artist. Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so now I was talking to you earlier and you were telling me about how you actually went to school to study art.
Yes.
So tell me, why did you decide to take that choice? At what point did you realize you had this gift for the arts?
Ever since I was in primary school, I was actually the best art student. Then when I got to secondary school, the love for art grew again. And I started saying that I actually derailed in a way by following my friends to science class. I saw that I couldn't cope and it wasn't my...
It wasn't your thing.
So I went back, I had to go back to art, and most of the time I was always at the art studio.
Okay.
Then I knew this was something. And again, my, not just being an artist, but the family I come from is just a family of artists. 2 graphic artists, 1 fashion designer.
Oh, nice.
We have a sculptor.
Oh, nice.
Then,
so different forms of artists. That's really amazing.
And majority of us passed through Yabatech.
Through Yabatech, okay, studying arts. Amazing. Okay, now let's talk about some of your pieces you have here. So what's your medium? What's your major art medium?
Yes, oil on canvas, and I do a lot of mixed media and impasto. Okay. What I mean by mixed media is I have to use other materials, you know, chunks and some other things to
make,
you know, match make and then produce an artwork.
Okay.
Then the impasto is laying of thick colors on my canvas. So for every stroke, it has a meaning. Okay. It has a reading. You know, there's always a meaning to
an interpretation to every stroke. Amazing. Let's talk about some of your artworks we have here. Yeah. So right there we have one. I see. Is that a painting of Fela?
Yes.
Okay.
The
Tell me.
Fela.
Of course, he inspired it, right?
And again, I look at it that you don't judge a book by the cover. He is a man that has spoken the truth. Okay. Till he passed on, and he has been. If you look at his music and his lifestyle, you might say, okay, his lifestyle, but his music rings a bell to people. And being an activist, you know, so I look at it that I am also an activist because I look at what I do with my art is to speak the truth.
Truth, yes, you know, very true.
Communicate with the truth.
All right, so right beside that we have an image of a bird.
Yeah.
Tell me, was that?
Yes, that is titled Walls Have Ears. Because
walls have ears.
Yes. Because,
that's a parrot.
Yes. What I mean there is this. In life, you need to keep your secret to yourself, especially when you have a vision and a dream. So when you tell it to someone else, it's no more a secret. So it becomes, you think that person is keeping a secret for you, but when it goes out of that, telling that person, it shows that you might not actually, you know, get the vision done. Yeah. So it's better to keep, then when the vision is being actualized and being, you have gotten where you're going to, then you can now spill it out.
You can spill it out also actually know.
So when you tell things to people, it's just like you telling a parrot something. Yes. And everybody
literally knows. So walls have ears. Keep your secret to yourself. Amazing. So now, can you actually just cast your mind back to your most favorable painting, your most memorable, let me say, painting, and what inspired it?
Yes. My most memorable painting has been a painting I did. Actually, the painting, it's African Mona Lisa. So I looked at it as Leonardo da Vinci painted Mona Lisa, and I made her to be an African woman. Okay. Because I believe that the African woman is a precious gift in the world, that they are the best from all races. Because if you look at it, the white people, when they grow older, you cannot see the beauty like an African woman. Okay. Like what I'm trying to say is, like
black don't crack.
Yes, like if you look at some of our legends, they get older and then they still look pretty and better. Like this veteran actress, Yarimbo. She's over 70, but she still looks very young. But comparing her to, just other races, you see that we still have the best kind of skin, the best structure, and I believe
Okay.
So that's why.
All right, amazing. So now I kind of imagine that when you started arts, I mean, it was a popular thing to do. I mean, now I think arts, African arts, is more appreciated. So what was that thing that kept you going and kept you deciding that, irrespective of the fact that Nigerians, Africans, the environment, if I yourself might not appreciate artists, what's kept you going in that regard?
Yeah, my inspiration was actually, one, my mom, and then secondly, my mentor, who happens to be Baba Usman Abdullahi. We met in Kano, actually. So he was a painter that he paints, and he paints with passion. So I went to him, and he kept me going, kept telling me, don't worry, you make it in the field of art. Because I told him actually that I know that I can paint, I'm creative, but the environment around me do not encourage me. So I said, no.
I hear you.
But he told me, if I can make it as an artist, then you can make it. So when I started seeing other great artists like Dr. Kolade Oshinawa, you know, late Professor Grillo, and Professor Bruce Onobropaya, all of them, I said, if these veterans can make it through visual arts, then I can
Then you can make it as well. Amazing. And I love the fact that you actually stayed the course. And I actually was going to ask you to name a few artists that actually inspire you, but I guess from all those names, you've actually mentioned them. So we have one more artwork that we haven't spoken about. So can you tell me about that?
Yes, that's an abstract painting. That's Life is a Mirage.
Oh, nice.
Because I feel that in life, we keep aspiring to get there. But, you know, a mirage is like a flow. You're seeing something, but by the time you get there,
there's something else.
It's something else, you know. So you keep aspiring, moving, and then if you, with hard work and diligence, you will get there. But you know, if you look at it, you might derail because it's a mirage. It's like it's an illusion.
All right.
It's not real like that.
Okay.
But when you keep with perseverance and then hard work, and you go and
it becomes clearer. So now tell me about, I think I've always found abstract arts really, really interesting and intriguing. Because when you start, do you have what you intend to paint? I mean, the idea that it's abstract kind of explains it, but just to know, do you have an image you have in mind when you start doing an abstract piece? Or do you just keep going and just see where it ends? Like, for instance, when you were creating this piece, did you know it was going to end up looking like this? Did you plan the colors, the shades, the lines, the curves, all of that? Or were you just going and then eventually got to this point and you're like, oh, okay, I think I'll stop here now?
Yeah, you see, for me, abstract is just an inspiration that comes. Then, if, like in my studio, when I was doing this work, actually, I was just painting. I was actually visualizing for another thing. But it got to a stage, I said, no, I had to change my mind and my focus. So I was just doing it. What actually came to this point was an accident. So it was something I was doing. I was actually painting another thing then. There was a mistake, an accident. I said, no. So I had to change. So from there, I started seeing, oh, from this mistake, there's something I can achieve.
There's something, okay. Amazing. I think it's actually beautiful how you can turn a mistake into such a beautiful piece. Well done, sir. And I wish you all the very best in everything you do. Thank you for joining us today. All right, and that's it, guys, on our displays for this morning. There's still so much more happening right here on Wake Up Nigeria. I mean, there's a whole lot coming from the kitchen right now, but we do have to take a break. And when we come back, we'll see what's cooking. Do stay with us.
Welcome to the second lap of Wake Up Nigeria on a beautiful Thursday morning. It's 0800 hours on Thursday, the 5th of September, 2024. We've had a wonderful show so far. We just rounded up with art segment, and we took a look at some wonderful paintings. We've already looked at the kitchen and what they've been doing there, taking a look at the review of headlines and papers. There's still quite a bit more to come this morning. Welcome to the show. My name is Mike Messi-Kennel. You can watch us live, tvcentertainment.tv. That's the website. YouTube, TVC Entertainment. Hit us up on social media. It's at TVC Entertainment on Facebook, X, Instagram, of course, LinkedIn and TikTok. All of them use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC, of course, to interact with us. Okay, Mary and Chef Jiboy have been cooking up a storm. Mary, of course, is celebrating her dad's 70th birthday, and she didn't make plans for small chops, so she's using Chef Jiboy now to do the small chops she wants to give to Daddy. Mary, you are buying small chops for us for Daddy's sake.
You must be joking.
This one is more important. This is 70, man. Mary, it's big. Someone else will celebrate you when you are 70.
Do you know what age I'm turning this year?
What are you?
72.
Why are you? When are you? All right, but then we'll get, of course, later. We'll just get to Mary quite very soon and see how far they are going on in the kitchen. Let's get straight into
See the way I'm doing my best.
All right, welcome again to the kitchen right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Breakfast is going to be something. It's really a celebration mode here, and a lot has been happening. Chef Jiboy is still putting together small chops this morning. Remember, we're going to have puff puff, mosa, spring rolls, samosa, and then I see sausages. What are we using the sausages for?
It's just for the small shops.
Ah, so it's also for the small chops.
Yeah.
So putting this together, we're making use of the pan.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can quickly show us how you do it. This is the removal process.
This is the removal process.
I remember this. It reminds me of my childhood. My sisters and I used to explore with this.
Wow.
And then we used to make use of our hands.
Wow.
Like, use it to do round because we love doing it.
Yeah.
You see that doing round?
It's going to hurt you. Oh, wow.
It's one of the reasons I stopped doing small chops.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So amazing.
every day we learn. Every day we
Yeah,
learn.
yeah,
But this is actually a very cool way to get it done. Use your brush to
use your brush.
put it in.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm going to show you.
yes,
I'm going to show them
putting it together.
Putting it together.
Okay. So which one are you doing first? The spring rolls or the samosa?
Anyone I feel like doing.
Okay. Well, we have the mix for the samosa ready, and we also have for the spring rolls. So it doesn't really matter which one. You can always interchange.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll make samosa and then spring onions. And I must say this while he's here. This guy is fast. I mean, we were able to do all of this in this short period of time. He's doing like 7 things at once, trying to put everything together. And I tell you, at the end of the show, we are going to have everything ready in time.
Yeah.
He's making small chops in that short period of time from the scratch. Amazing stuff. We're not just making one, no. We're making everything. Samosa, spring rolls, the puff-puff, the mosa. No be small thing. So did you see that? Did you see that? You know what? You need to do it again. The samosa wrap, so everybody can see it. So do the samosa wrap again. Yes, just a bit of that, and then first you cross it. Yeah. Calm down now. Some of us are learning now. Eh? Hey, the hands of an expert. Do it again so that we can see how you are doing it. Do it. This time, be a bit slower.
No problem.
We know say now your hustle, don't worry. We'll still contract you to do it for us instead. G-Boy Catering Services, you can find him on Instagram. So if you have a quick order, I'm very sure it will come through.
You cut.
Okay, so you just cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cut.
Yeah.
So you turn it like this. So
then you put that.
Put the little beef.
Yeah, just a bit. Okay. Okay. Then you cross it first.
Cross it first, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, so we don't have any burnt.
Yes.
Okay. So first cross, then after that.
After that, triangle.
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 Just be focusing on making triangles.
Triangle, yes.
Then to make it stick, you use the batter.
Yeah.
To make it stick.
You have to
So that's how it works. I can see you watching now. Say, I miss if you do am now. That's my expert where I be now. I say, I celebrate you in advance, Jerry. Well done. Okay, so we are going to head straight to the couch to join Winfrey right now while we continue with our cooking process here. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, welcome back. And we've got tech this morning. Bettina Nnamdi Igbembo is a Microsoft certified educator and stop-motion animator at 9 years experience in offering digital skills, training to children in schools and online. She's doing quite a lot on the online space. And of course, today we're discussing choosing the right tech skill for your children. This is great to have you. You are welcome.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr.
All right, we're going to have your question, but just before we go on, just give us a little prelude. Just tell us about your journey into tech. How did it all start for you, and how's it going?
Okay, so I always love animation, and, you know, it's so beautiful. You see things working, you see chairs, tables, you know, they're just working, and then you're wondering, how did it happen?
Okay.
And because of that, I started to look into what really is behind the scene, and that was when animation popped up, like, oh, wow, so with animation, you could basically animate anything around you. And because of that, I started to look into finding out, and that was how I came across tech, okay? And, you know, having this understanding, because I've always worked with children, and for over 8-9 years, I've worked with children, and I just thought of, okay, let's start the training for children, all right? And so that's just it for me.
Now, you know, there's been that urge and that need to teach children tech. You know, people are talking about coding and all of that. Now we're talking about choosing the right skill for a key for tech. How do you know where a child's proclivity leans towards? How do you find out that this child can do tech and where this child should fit in when it comes to tech?
Okay, so there are different ways. Okay, I'm going to start with, first of all, we need to allow the children to be interested in the tech. Yes.
You don't force it on them.
You don't force it on them.
Okay.
You need to, first of all, be interested. And if you want to make a child to be interested in tech, you need to, first of all, create that enabling environment for them. You know, when we are growing up, when it comes to profession, we see doctors, lawyers, engineers, and that's the programming that is in our mind. And then you hear things like, you ask a child, what do you want to be in future? And the child tells you, I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer.
Just because that's what they heard and saw all around.
Exactly. So once, as a parent, even if you're not in tech, we have beautiful sci-fi movies that will allow the children to see these things, you know, and allow them to see that there's a line of tech as a skill for them. Wonderful. So once you're able to create that environment for the children, you're able to enable them to see it as, you know, something that they can start and they can love. That's where you started to build that mindset and build that interest. And when you've done that, you can now start to look for tech skills that are age appropriate.
Tell us some of the skills.
You know, tech skills that are age appropriate. For example, if your child loves colors, your child loves to paint, you know, you just know that your child is artistic, introducing a tech skill like graphic design is beautiful for that child. Now, you're trying to use the child's interests and blend it together with a tech skill. Okay? And it becomes easy for the child to blend in. If your child knows how to draw, you know, your child is an artist, can draw, a tech skill like stop motion. So I love stop motion because I created a Lego story with a piece of paper. Wow. It was a German competition, and we were just asked to create an animation. And before now, I used to feel like you have to have these laptops. You know, it's actually important, okay?
To do that.
But at that time of that program, that animation competition, my laptop got stolen.
Wow. So how did you do it?
So now, when it got stolen, what I had to do is I just started to make research. So I'm a research person. I just want to just find out what can I be able to do to still bring out this animation. And then that was when I came across stop motion. And then I had just my smartphone with me. Okay. And with my smartphone and the knowledge that I have, I was able to just learn about stop motion animation. Wonderful. And I was able to put up a kind of animation, because, you know, animation, we have various kinds. We have whiteboard, 2D, 3D. Stop motion is also a kind of it. And that was how I was able to, you know, start off with my smartphone that I have. So it's easy when you're able to allow the child's interests blend together. So I was talking about drawing. If a child knows how to draw, the child can learn stop motion. You know, when it comes to tech, parents usually think that it is just this this serious, you have to be coding, you have to be robotic, you have to build one skyscraper that is going into the sky and just destroying
rocket taking off or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we need to ensure that once we are able to use the child's interests.
Okay.
And one way or the other,
there's a tech skill that is related.
And there's also elementary tech skill. You know, just starts with
with somebody. Now let me ask, how early can one start teaching a child? Can you start creating this environment? How early can it be too early? How early can you start?
Okay, it cannot be too early and it can also be too early. So when you have a child and then you notice that the child is beginning to show some interest, show some, you realize that the child is beginning to show some characteristics of having this particular skill. It may not be
so there's some awareness towards that particular skill. Yeah.
You know, remember we said number one is enabling environment. You know, children, when they are seeing things, they tend to draw towards that thing.
Right.
So once you notice that it seems like my child is now beginning to do this, do that, my child is now beginning to blend this together, you can start to introduce the child. Now, I'm not going to say a specific age.
Okay.
Because some children at 5, they are already very smart. I have a child at 4. You know, I'm working with him to create a comic book.
Wow.
And it's a virtual class.
Interesting.
So now I wouldn't say, but then, now maybe I should say because the child is based over the other country, right? Maybe there's some benefit there, but that's not, I don't see that as an excuse or a reason. But what I would just say is, you may not really have the specific age, but it's you as a parent. You're the one that would decide on, okay, my child has started to show this particular trait. Okay, I think I can start blending that skill that the child has together with tech. Because the truth of the matter is, when it comes to tech, it is in all niche, all categories of life. If your child wants to be a teacher, the child needs to know at least some basic tech skill.
Very true, because even if you want to write now, you're doing it on a laptop or something.
Anywhere.
If you want to do speech to text or text to speech or something, there is some level of technology that is involved. So, and that's where I wanted to go to. You know, people are talking about, then it was arts or science and all that. And then, when it's arts, you forget about the science part. But now, no matter what you are doing, you definitely need a tech skill.
Definitely.
So you can start putting those kids into those places where they can start learning this kind of thing. Okay, and just let me say, just for starters, what's the best? Maybe should I say, equipment to buy? What's the best? Should you get a child a device, a tab or a phone? What's the best one to just start up that thing?
Okay, so
very fast.
So we're in Nigeria.
Yeah.
You know, these things are expensive, right?
Yeah.
But then you can start with a tab.
Okay.
Okay, you can start with a tab. But when you're buying the child a tab, as a parent, there are some certain parental controls that you need to put in that tab. Because you know, parents are also a bit scared, worried. What if the child goes to this part of the
internet?
Internet?
Yes.
So I recommend a tab.
Okay.
Okay, but that's after you've gone through the parental control.
Wonderful.
Okay, so a tab is friendly because another mistake that parent makes is that when they want to get their children a tech device, they just buy any tab. And sometimes they end up buying a gaming tab that you can't even use to learn anything.
Wonderful.
So there are some tabs that are just gamified tab.
So there should be more.
So it should be specific when you're going to maybe anywhere you want to get this device. Be specific on what kind of tab that you're looking for. Because we've had situations where this child is very interested in this tech skill, but the device that the child have is not helping the child, so it becomes
Bettina,
a problem.
I'm surprised that this is your first time because you are very, very explicit and explaining so well.
Thank you.
I'm glad that we have you across the month. So we'll delve more into this in other Thursdays. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So while you're there, let's take a time out now. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
It's time for our book chat, yay! And we are looking at The Fast Track to Wealth with Ola Ron, a multifaceted professional with a passion for creating positive change. It's so good to have you in the studio with us this morning. You read a book and then you realize it's speaking to you. That's what your book did to me. And I must say, well done. It's not always easy for people to share what they know. And of course, besides the fact that you're sharing your knowledge, you're also being practical and realistic. I commend you for that. And for those watching, they're probably wondering, what's Mary talking about? So let me tell you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Ola Ron's book, The Fast Track to Wealth. What inspired your decision to write this book?
I feel like I'm seeing something that people are not seeing. And I'm not a selfish person, naturally. So I feel, okay, this thing that I know, that I'm saying, is there any way I can pass the message across to people to understand?
Like, is it that people can't see it?
Sometimes what is in front of majority of people will not allow them to see what I share in this book. Not that those things are not there. The things are very obvious, but people are preoccupied with other things that will not allow them to see from this perspective. So that is why I felt, okay, let me bring this to the front. Maybe people will begin to see it and understand that this is possible.
This is possible. So I'm going to have us quickly go through each chapter, just as quickly as possible, because this is one book I want us to really touch on. Now, you started with the basics of success, where you shared your personal story, the literal definition of grace, from grass to grace, because born in a family of 9, 7 children, your mom and your dad, living in a face me, I face you. And then, of course, in the book, we saw where your mom had issues with the landlady and the insults. We also saw where at school, someone insulted you simply because of the song, that then popular song was being played. And you're like, how much is $1 million? And the person was like, well, what do you mean? And then they said, you have to eat your words if you want to collect the money you came to borrow. Like, going from grass to grace, let's talk about that briefly.
I think the first thing about this kind of journey is self-belief. And also, you know, like I also said in the book that everything has 2 sides.
True.
The good side and the bad side. So someone once asked me, if you say everything has good sides, what is the good side of poverty? And I said, poverty can motivate you. If you allow poverty to motivate you, it can motivate you. Poverty will also make you know your true friends. So those are the 2 major advantages of poverty. So growing up, looking at my parents, looking at the things we were going through, I was not comfortable. All of us were not comfortable. But the difference between myself and many other people was that they accepted they were going through as fate. But I was questioning fate. How can you tell me it's my fate to be like this and it's somebody else's fate to be like that? Does he have 2 heads? Does he have 7 legs? Does he have 5 hands? We look alike, so he cannot be fated to be like this, and I am fated to be like this. So that made me to really, really question a lot of things, ponder a lot of things. As young as when I was from 9 years old, 10 years old, I was already questioning things, observing things. I was angry. I was not satisfied. But because of my upbringing, one thing I would not do was crime.
Yeah.
So one thing I would not do was illegal stuff. But as far as doing things legally was concerned, I was ready to explore this and try my best. So that was what got me to this level.
Wow. Okay, so now let's touch on the first chapter, the haves and the have-nots. That was you exploring what, in quotes, we might call reality. The reality that, okay, these are people who have nots, these are people who have, but then what then is the difference? Tell us more about have.
Yes, because that is one of the, for me personally, as the author of the book, that chapter is probably my favorite chapter in that book. Other people said other chapters, but for me...
Why so?
Because it's the foundation. It's the foundation because when we talk about the haves, people that have, the have-nots, the only thing that comes to people's mind is money. Some people have money, while others don't have money. And as long as I don't have money, I am doomed. But the truth of the matter is that when we say the haves and the have-nots, what we are talking about is not money. What we are talking about is a being. I also wrote in the book that being rich is not because you have money that you are rich. It is because you are rich that you have money. If somebody that is not rich on the inside has money, it's a matter of time. They are going to go their separate ways.
Yes.
So, I mean, I also shared in the book, maybe I didn't share, I shared on a program. I know somebody that came across 500 million naira within the space of 3 years. And after the 3rd year, he was trying to balance account and he did not even have a dime in his account again. And somebody else had 10 million naira within that space, and that 10 million later turned to 20, 30, 40, 70, 100, 200. The difference between the two is who they are. One is rich, and the other one is not. So that tells you that money does not make someone. So it is the haves. What do you have? Number one, I shared in the book the things that you will have that will make you say, I belong to the haves, which is the abundance mentality. And that's abundance mentality is one of them. You're supposed to have the self-sustenance mentality.
Yes.
When I get an admission to the university, when my name came out in the paper, then it was coming in the papers, and I went to before I told anybody in the house, I already went to the school to go and pay for my acceptance with myself.
From the money from the hawking?
No, I was already teaching.
When
immediately I turned 18, I told my mom nothing will ever touch my head again. I will never hawk again. So the other people were hawking. So my mom now designed a new department for me.
Department?
So the department was that there are these people that used to sell food. You know, they will put plantain in the food. So my mom used to supply them plantain. So since I insisted I will not hawk again, she will now put the...
Second to the last one.
Yes. She will now put the whole thing inside one big bag and said, he said, you will not hawk again. Carry this to this woman. How you will carry it is none of my business. You won't
carry it on your head.
Yes. So what I used to do then was that I already saved. I was already doing something. So I used to save some little money. I would just call Okada. Wait, I'll call my friend. Let me carry this into the road. So I will sit on Okada. They will now put
it on your thigh.
That was that, and I became a specialist in
supplying plantain.
Yes.
I'm sure your mom used to marvel at you, but you know mothers will keep it to themselves. She probably thought, this child is different. But then, of course, from the haves and have-nots, it all starts from the mind.
Yes.
It all starts from the mind was profound for me when I was reading it. I found haves and have-nots really interesting and motivational as well, especially talking about the way you were looking at life. And so I was not surprised that the next chapter had to do with the mind. Tell us more about that.
Yes, because the journey of life actually is either lost or won in the mind. The moment you allow something to be settled in your mind, you know the mind controls the body.
Yes.
So the moment in your mind you settle for something and say this is the norm, so the whole of your body adjusts to that thing as the norm. But when in your mind is already questioning certain things, your body is not going to be comfortable until your subconscious mind finds an answer to that particular thing disturbing your mind. So most of the time, the mind is so powerful that it can be used to even achieve whatever you want to achieve, because the mind on its own works for you. And the mind will only works on whatever instruction you give to the mind, whether you are aware of that instruction or not. So let me give you an instance. I'm the only person that went to the university in my family.
Wow.
Yes. So when I wrote my first JAMB, before I wrote my first JAMB, I saw that to have money to go to university might be difficult. So somebody was telling me, maybe you should go to Polytechnic and go and do ND. I said, never. I said I will never go to the Polytechnic. So, but in the course of doing that, a relationship came that I knew someone that was empowering in University of Ilorin. I said, when you finish your JAMB, give me your result and this. So my mind was working on how to achieve this, so I went to the university. That was not enough. I wanted to achieve this. So as long as you are giving your mind a task to do, your mind will go to work. The problem with many people is that they assume they cannot achieve this.
True.
Or this is beyond me, or I'm not competent enough, and then your mind just goes to rest. We are not competent enough, we shut down. But the moment you task your mind to say, I can do this, the problem is, how can I do it? How? What do I need to do? Who do I need to meet? What steps do I need to take? Once you are questioning that from your conscious mind, you just go to sleep. Your subconscious mind will be working day and night to answer those questions for you. So the day the questions are answered, you begin to see things aligned, sometimes even beyond what you have even prepared yourself. But you gave that task to your subconscious mind, and then it was... But because from the beginning, you already feel like this is the end, you have given an instruction to your subconscious mind. Go and rest.
You know, there's a lot to learn from you, Wolabi. There's actually a whole lot. And I must say that your book, The Fast Track to Wealth, is one of the best books I've read.
Thank you very much.
It's very inspirational and it's totally relatable. It really breaks down things in such a way that you'd ask yourself, why didn't I think of this? Or, okay, I've always known this. Why haven't I, worked on it and all? Thank you so much for this book. We appreciate your coming to share your knowledge with us. And I hope you'll enjoy reading the book as well. Okay, so we usually have breakfast, but we're going to have breakfast today after the show for a reason, because there's a lot happening in the kitchen. So we might not be able to set the table before you properly. So we'll set the table after. And then, of course, we'll upload our guests having breakfast right after the show. So you can check that on our social media pages. I know for sure Mike and Wifri are in the kitchen.
Mary.
We'll be setting tables.
I prepare a table in the presence.
Of your enemies.
All right, G-Boy. There's a lot quite going here, but because it's small chops, you know how the process can be. But watch us on social media, you see the complete process and how everything turns out. Well done, G-Boy.
Definitely looking and turning out really well. The puff puff is in. The spring roll is standing by, and the samosa almost fried, all right?
Yeah.
It's an amazing show we've had here today. Thank you guys for sticking with us. We'll see you same time, same station tomorrow.
Yeah, my MD's here.
Goodbye.